all you guys that are wondering what's involved in a Godzilla swap and the parts that LMR is going to be carrying, that's what we're going to talk about in this video, okay? So let's head on over and talk to the guys about this build. One of the main things that I think everybody wants to know, like how hard is it? You know, what needs to be changed out? Obviously K-member and things like that.
The K-member is already set in place, and the oil pan is the biggest.
So the
oil pan. And once the intakes get lower profile, they'll fit underneath stock goods.
So we had a modification right here for an elbow, right? And this was what, 3D printed, I think?
3D printed, last minute.
Let's take a look at that. So now that's really cool. So I'm sure that's high temp right there.
As high temp as it can be.
High temp as it can be,
Not
yeah.
a permanent solution by any means.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool.
So the way you would get one of these engines, whether you buy it new from us in crate engine form, or whether you go to a wrecking yard, whatever, buy it out of a Super Duty truck. Obviously, the engine's designed to be in a truck. It's not designed to be in a Fox Body Mustang or anything for that matter. Factory oil pan has the cooler integrated into it. It worked for what we had, but once we got it on the car, you had about this much clearance. I mean, if you were to go over a speed bump, the oil pan was going to be the first thing to go. So the oil pan we have on this car, we went with the 417 Motorsports option. Just kind of at the time when we were, acquiring parts and things, it's just kind of what we went with. So it's a really good oil pan. We did still have to clearance our manual steering rack a little bit, but that's the nature of the beast with some of this stuff. You're gonna have to compromise somewhere. You're gonna have to make modifications here and there. Just because it says it fits something, just know that there's compromises you have to make.
There's actually more room up here than I thought. So no modifications up here. This is the SVE radiator with contour fans.
That is correct. That is our SVE 3-year aluminum radiator. And those are our contour fans with our contour fan brackets. For those of you that have bought our contour fan brackets, this is a part that was built and designed by Mr. Scott Hubbard. So pretty simple setup on cooling for sure.
Yeah, and the overflow tube is the SVE, right?
Yep.
As well.
Yep, that's essentially our full contour fan kit.
Okay, what about the headers? What's the headers?
Ultimate header?
Yep, it's a set of ultimate headers. Kind of the backstory on that, we actually ordered in a set of headers for another swap, kind of like an LS1 car in a Fox Body. And Hubbard, boy, he was putting in some time. He was cutting and rearranging and sorting and re-welding, trying to get these LS1 headers to fit. Well, this so happens at the same time we were doing that, Ultimate Headers reached out to us and says, hey, we got a new header, would y'all want it? We're like, well, what is it? They're like, we're a Godzilla in a Fox Body Mustang. I was like, man, you're reading our minds, send that over to us. So that's a set of Ultimate Headers. Looking at it, judging by my eye, it's probably 1 7/8 primaries.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys going to try to start carrying these headers?
They're live on the site at the time of this video.
Okay, cool. So these are live. What about the fuel rails?
Those are going to be coming. That's a poly rail. If you've been in the aftermarket, fuel rails are pretty easy. It's just a stick of billet.
That's right.
You take the injector spacing, you make holes. Pretty simple. The fuel system that's on the car, this is our fuel system originally intended for our Coyote swap applications in Fox Mustangs. And as you can see, Hubbard just basically did some rerouting and some things to make it fit the Godzilla. So hoses are still a little bit long. Again, trial and error, a lot of prototype stuff here, still figuring it out. But the fuel system, again, pretty simple, pretty to the point.
Now, what about the elbow? Is anything available at the moment for this?
No, this was all parts that we had laying in the shop. And this is, of course, 3D printed, but from throttle body out, even to that pretty trick little air box, Scott Hubbard built all that. Last minute. I mean, he probably threw that together in about an hour, 2 hours.
That is awesome. Okay, so, but we are going to have more parts coming for these cars,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So that's really something that I wanted to speak on, is you got to give this stuff time, guys. It's going to take a little bit of time, just like when the Coyote became popular and when it first started. Give these guys some time, but you are intending on carrying some of these Godzilla swap parts and things like that as the market grows. And we should see different intakes and things like that as well.
Yep.
Okay.
I know this is going to sound, I guess to some, it was relatively, a lot of man hours in it, obviously. But once we progressed, it kind of got easier as we went. We kind of took the mindset of Coyote swap, basically took the Coyote out of the equation and just inserted Godzilla. So behind that is a F-150 two-wheel drive 6R80. It's controlled with a quick shift 6 transmission controller. Those are available on our site. The drive shaft's one off. It came from Scott Hubbard's pile of parts. He cut it down, made it fit the car. We had it balanced. Out back, 327 gears, right, Hubbard? Yep, Hubbard put a set of 327 gears in it. It has the Team Z upper control arm setup, Team Z lower control arm. Believe it or not, this car was actually our prototype car long before it ever had the Godzilla. It has our 4-lug rear disc brakes. So this was kind of our mock-up R&D car for the 4-lug rear disc, and so we just left it on the car. Up front, wheelwood drag brakes, strange struts with strange coilovers. Those are our SVE classic drags. We've sold for several years. They look really good on the car. I know you still see 5.0 here, but hey, everybody's got to have a sleeper, right?
That's right. Is this as easy as a 5.0 swap? I mean, as far as fitment goes?
Yeah, it fits great. If you get all these parts together, it will go together relatively easy. And hooking power wires up to your control pack, figuring out where you're going to mount things, but literally that control pack has a wire coming from the center. It can go anywhere.
Nice.
Under the dash or either.
It seems more compact. Is it a little more compact than the 5.0, or it seems like dimension-wise? A little bit, yeah.
Width-wise, obviously cowl hood. This is the truck intake.
It's tall,
Like you mentioned earlier, different intakes will be coming. Y'all, those that have kept up with the Godzilla swap craze up to this point at the time of this video, you've probably seen some different intake manifolds talked about. So as soon as we can get one in our hands, we'll definitely get an intake manifold on it. That way we can, we want to get a stock hood on the car. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
Our Coyote swap AC kit was pretty much direct bolt on, so we've got air conditioning with it, and then we're off with the heater hose kit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad once we get all the parts and everything to swap one of these in. I might be interested in something like that. So there's a lot of room for improvement on the intake, it looks like, as far as height goes, once we really get into that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, maybe where we could do stock hoods and everything.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So as the Godzilla craze continues, we know it's going to. Our focus has always been, and will forever be, kind of the blue collar mindset. The stuff that people are doing in their garage. Because in a sense, if you take away our, shop area from where we built this, I mean, even with some, I say basic tools, but even if you acquired a decent set of tools, this is something that, you could have done off of jack stands. So that's always our mindset, always our approach. Blue collar is blue collar to be. Most folks will be doing this exact car. Yeah. You've probably seen some of the other crazy swaps out there, and those are great. You need those to help build the drive, because in all reality, most folks are going to end up with this exact car.
That's right. And you said those are Team Z control arms?
Yes, Team Z control arms, and then one of their coilover kits with strange front struts.
So, I've shot some footage of this already, but guys, obviously this interior on this car is super clean. So Landon, you want to go over a few of the things that you guys did?
Yeah, so pretty much Scott Hubbard and another one of our employees, Cameron, they went through the interior. All this was not originally black. All this was painted with our interior paint that we sell on our website. We used our paint system, so we sprayed this out of an HPLV gun, so you can see how clean and how OEM it lays. We've got a lot of 5.0 resto parts in here. Of course, Corbeau seats, Corbeau harness, Maximum Motorsport roll cage, our 93 Cobra style wheel, and the instrument cluster. That's that newer Autometer digital instrument cluster. That's a pretty tricky unit. For those of you, kind of wanting to go that all digital route, something that's kind of quote unquote plug and play necessarily. It kind of just goes right in the spot right there.
Yeah, can we see that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right, guys, check this out. Oh, that's cool.
So by default, the Autometer, I think they call it their Envision LCD instrument cluster. These are live on the site, and the way you see it currently, you have 4 different gauge layouts that you can choose from. This is kind of the one we landed on, just because in these particular cars, where the upper column shroud is, you can't see your odometer.
Yeah.
It's kind of tucked in behind here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the one we
I like that. Now, what do you need to run this?
So Autometer, it's very similar to kind of other aftermarket digital instrument clusters. You get the cluster, and they give you a wiring harness with a pretty good set of instructions. So you'll have to tap into your blinkers, your headlights, your battery. There's your headlight indicator. We got key on, so we should have left hand, right hand flasher.
So there's other configurations as well?
Yes, the control knob is tucked in right here.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
probably see it. So basically by pushing that, you'll be able to rotate the dial. Again, kind of difficult to get in there. So Autometer, if you're watching, here's your improvements you can make. Other than that, it's a great instrument cluster. They did a really nice job. But yeah, you would just push this, kind of rotate your dial, and you'll have different selections you can make, like metric type stuff and all that jazz.
We may have to get one of those for the channel.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, check that out and put one in maybe the Retro Fox or something. I really like that. That's clean.
And it's
I love
crazy when we originally dreamed this idea up, it was like, just put an engine in it, put a transmission in it, make it do a burnout, and make it go down the road. Well, we sell Mustang parts. We specialize in Fox body Mustang. Now you got a full dang interior in the car.
Yeah.
You got AC. So
Guys, check it out. It's just as clean as it can be. Are those?
yep, those are our. I can't remember. We sell thousands of parts, so I have to remember all of them. These are, I believe, our entry-level door panels.
Dude, those look good.
They look really good. They fit the car well, you know. And then armrest pads. We resprayed the bases.
Yeah.
New switch bezel switches. Matte pocket.
Yeah, I know, right? I like these a lot.
Yeah.
I really like these. Nick, look, we don't talk about it a lot because I've never seen these in person that I knew of at least. So there you go, guys. That's what LMR's door panels look like. They look awesome. I really do like. They're obviously not like identical to factory, but that looks really good. Look, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Okay, Caleb's gonna do a video as well. Landon, hey, thank you so much, man. Awesome, guys. There's more support coming for the Godzilla. This is obviously growing. It's gonna be a big thing. You guys want it, and they're here to deliver. So, awesome job. Seriously, so clean. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.